Hey everybody, welcome to Hey Man. I'm Josh.
Why'd your voice change?
Yeah, it went up a little bit.
It's like a server voice.
Yeah, with the straight hose voice.
We're here with Ron Funches, everybody. Hey, listen. By the way, before we get into it, I always start the podcast by giving people their flowers.
I love that.
And I want to tell you, man, you are the best vibe in this business, dude. When you walk into a room, it's like everybody's shoulders drop. Like there's no tension. You are just pure good vibe. And dude, you've never changed or bent. I'm sure you heard people say at some point in time, hey, you can't do this if you want to be. You've never changed who you are. And I mean, obviously it's worked. But like so much respect because you're so different. You are one of one in this town and never changed your vibe, never changed your kindness, never changed how you respect everybody equally. I will tell you one of the things that he would say to me is he was like, Ron talks to me like he talks to everybody else. Dude, that's such a huge compliment where you're not differentiating somebody by their job. You're treating everybody like people. Such huge respect for that, man. And just know everybody feels the same way about you, but it's so dope to have that. Like your energy in a room is palpable, dude, and super cool to have you on the show. So thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
On that same note, like having been your kid, I've been to so many sets. I've been to so many different places. I've met so many different people in this business, and still to this day, you are one of the nicest dudes I have ever met in this business, in this city, in this country. Like it is hands down always. Where he's like, every time I would see you, I'd be like, oh yeah, I saw Ron today. We had a great conversation. We talked about sneakers. We just talked about life. Like just a good dude overall, all the way around. And we appreciate you coming to spend some time with us today.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that's just a testament to the way I was raised, and I try not to go away from that. Yeah, and I do believe in treating everyone as as you want to be treated, and until they give you a reason otherwise, and it does get difficult. I actually really needed to hear that because I have been struggling sometimes recently with just feeling that because I do feel like I'm such a supportive person, and I love comedy, and I want everyone to succeed, and I love the different minds, and sometimes I don't feel the same support towards me, or I feel that, especially recently going through this divorce and stuff, and dealing with things and losing some friends and stuff that I thought were really in my corner, and so sometimes I do go like, well, man, am I a chump? Like, how come I always push like everybody else and push this stuff? And then like, it feels like when I need it, and I love my life. My life's beautiful, but you know how we can all get in those things where sometimes I'm just like, man, am I a sap? So it's really nice to hear that.
I want you to know I've struggled with some of the same stuff. Some of my main struggles, because I'm with you, I love stand-up and I love comedians. I really do. I love this community. I used to do a podcast with Freddie Prinze, and he sat me down after one show because he saw me. He was like upset after some pods, and he said, you have to figure out the difference between being kind and nice. Mm-hmm. You can be kind and still be able to say no and draw lines. You're nice. And people in this town are going to take advantage of nice. They're going to take, but they're never going to give back to you. But one thing I would say about you, and I could be wrong, you, and also there's another guy I know. Do you know Ross Matthews?
Yeah, I do.
Both overly kind people, but I've always felt a strength in you guys. When you said until you're nice until you can't be anymore, or until somebody shows you who they are, you always have seemed to me to be a dude who knows where his line is, though.
Yeah.
Is that when you say because of how you were raised, where were you raised? Mom and dad, brothers, sisters? What'd you have?
I was raised mostly in the south side of Chicago. I was born here in California, in Gardena. I left when I was 4. My mom and my dad split up, and moved to the south side of Chicago with my mom. It's a single mom. Raised me with her. Lives with my aunt, a female cousin, and my sister. So just mostly surrounded with a lot of feminine energy. South side of Chicago, which was also a lot of gang activity and stuff in that time. So it was and I was just lucky. My mom was very into making sure we went to any free museum days, any free festivals. She took me to go see like Muddy Waters and BB King and all these things that like at the time I was like, ugh, why are you dragging me to this like smoky like bar to listen to this old dude, you know? And now I'm just like, oh, I got so much culture. And it was I don't think I would have been a comedian if it wasn't for what she, the way she was, because one of the things she took me to was my first concert, which was Moore's Day in the Time, which was tremendous in itself. But they had an opening act, which was this comedian by the name of Shucky Ducky. And he had a catchphrase of Shucky Ducky Quack Quack for anyone who is familiar. And when I saw him, I was just like, in awe of the way that he could control a room and can make people, and how happy he made me. And so I think if I had not seen him, I think that was the beginning of me being like, oh, I want to be a comedian.
Have you always been very like a soft-spoken dude?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you were growing up, did that cause more problems? Like, did that, because usually anybody who's perceived as weaker, the bullies are going to start to circle. Did being soft-spoken end up causing you any problems growing up?
I mean, not at the beginning. I went to a Catholic school for most of my early upbringing, and we all knew each other. It wasn't until like my mom kind of was not doing well financially, running low on money, and couldn't afford Catholic school anymore. So in 7th grade, I had to go to my first like Chicago public school, and that was like really like, oh fuck, like this is
dude,
a crazy change of pace.
How different was that first day? Uniform, Catholic school uniform?
Catholic school uniform.
Yeah, definitely.
Public school, no uniform.
No uniform.
So right away, just walking through those halls, do you remember? Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because there were metal detectors. There were all these things I hadn't seen before in my school. And it's not like my school was the safest. Right, we had the issues too, but we didn't have like that. And it was a much bigger school than I was used to. And also, again, the thing that stressed the most is like, not only is it going from like this, like you go to mass, you go to thing to regular school. It's also, they had all gone to school with each other from 1st through 7th grade. So they knew immediately. They didn't know me.
Yeah. That's a target right there.
Yeah. And so, I was picked on for quite a while.
How did you did you handle that? Did the school handle that? Did your mom handle that? Or was it something that just eventually went away or never went away? Or
it didn't go away. No, I just eventually was, my dad came back in the picture and was like, I'm in Oregon. And I was like, hey, can we come live with you? Because
yeah. I don't blame you for that one.
How old were you when you moved?
I was 12. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That I mean, we've talked about this before, but he was bullied pretty heavy in
middle school
through high school. And I'm always curious about how you feel like it affected you, or if it did moving forward, because I don't know.
I feel like school bullies were the least of my traumas. I had a lot of other stuff going on.
Like what other stuff?
Yeah. Well, my mom was in an abusive relationship when I was a kid with a gang member named Do Dirty. And then when I moved with my dad, he was in an abusive relationship with a lady he had met in an NA meeting. And so it just kind of went from being, and then I moved from Southside Chicago at 12 to middle of Salem, Oregon, and just being like, okay, I don't know anyone here, and they use the N word in a different way.
Yeah.
It's not in a familiar tone.
There was no blending in Salem.
No.
Wait. So your mom being in it, how your sister is older or younger?
2 years younger, several years older emotionally.
Well, of course, because girls ahead of
Yeah.
And did you all get along?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love my sister. She's the best.
And in your family, everybody has a role. Like, what was your role in the family? Were you still the dude?
Peacekeeper. What do you mean?
You were the peacekeeper.
Peacekeeper, chill, try to keep everything going. Firstborn. My dad wasn't around for the beginning, so I was trying to be man of the house, try to make things peaceful, not be a burden. Those are my main issues with therapy, is feeling like a burden, feeling like, that it's more stress than I'm worth,
And did you, when you were growing up, did you have, because we had certain freedoms that our kids don't have as far as coming in and out of the house, leaving. Did you?
No, not in Chicago.
Not in Chicago.
No, she needs to know where we were, which was either usually the park or at the house. But even the park wasn't the safest. They would have the vice lords, their gangster disciples, and they'd have their meeting in the park library while we're trying the thing. And I'm like, come on, guys, that's of all the places.
The park library?
Yeah.
Jeez. That is, did you ever bump up against, was there ever a spot where someone was like, hey, you need to come be in this gang with us or anything like that?
Oh, no. I was a Husky child with a Lisp. So no one.
He's not no shade to Ron, but I don't think he was their he was their type of person to recruit.
Yeah,
to go
more of a target.
Of Chicago.
Yeah. I was marked victim. Not
he was used as bait,
like recruit. Yeah. They were like, this dude is not going to make us look as tough as we want.
Yeah, no.
What kind of shit? What were you into as a kid?
The same stuff I'm into now. Just video games, sneakers, basketball, general sports, but general nerddom, Japanese shit, anime, just is into all that type of stuff when I was a kid.
How much of that was in the South Chicago?
Wow, you just made your own story.
South side. Come on, get your shit together. You're making me look bad over here. My God. Come on.
So when Ricky turned red and got shot with the shotgun, how did that affect you?
Growing up next to Snoop Dogg.
Ricky! Oh my God.
That is so funny. But was there a lot of other kids where you were growing up that was into what you were into?
Not as much as them. Back then you used to hide that you were a video game player. You used to hide that you were in the anime and manga, so it kind of changed as I got older. But I think that's one of the things that me growing up and moving around so much always instilled in me was just be me. Like, what was cool in Chicago wasn't cool in Oregon, so like being like, oh, I'm supposed to like rodeos and hockey because, or like I like whatever I like because it all changes depending on where you are culturally. So that's I think a valuable lesson I learned very early. So I never really felt ashamed. I mean, I wasn't like out promoting that I was going to electronic boutique or whatever, but I wasn't ashamed.
I played Dungeons and Dragons growing up.
You're playing
Dungeons and Dragons before? I mean, Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
I actually
he's playing Dungeons and Dragons currently with his nephew.
Not my nephew, my grandson.
Grandson. My nephew.
I played Dungeons and Dragons on Saturdays. We FaceTime, and he's the DM, and he has the Lisp. Mm-hmm. And he tells me, he goes, so your character's name is Elfington? It's the best thing ever. He's such a good dude. I will tell you, being, I hear all the stuff about the difference between being a grandfather and a father. It's all true because there's none of the pressure of raising that child. It's just pure
Yeah, that's the fun I get to see in my mom. I'm happy for her to, and conversations we got to have because she was so much more pressure filled and disciplinarian when we were younger because being a single mom and stressed out all the time financially, and now. And I think even in the beginning, she was a little more of a disciplinarian with her grandkids. And then it took her a moment to be like, why am I upset? Like, I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
I don't have a meeting to get to.
It was probably a habit for her
Yeah.
to just be like always looking out for the best for her kids.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think I've ever asked you this. When you were growing up and you did something wrong or not wrong or against the rules, were you nervous? Like, were you nervous about what either your mom or I were going to say to you? Like, because you know what I never wanted to do is I never thought parenting through fear was effective.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my dad yelling and me being scared, but when I got scared, I turned off. So whatever message he was trying to deliver wasn't coming close to landing.
You never heard it.
But would you ever feel scared?
I mean, I don't know if scared's the right word. I mean, no kid likes getting in trouble. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think it was more worried than anything. I was never scared of getting in trouble. I think it was more just like I was bummed out knowing I was going to be in trouble.
Right.
And there was no way out of it type of shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you weren't scared to, like, ever admit or...
No, because I wasn't ever scared of you or mom. I mean, nobody can be scared of mom. She's a
Right.
Southern angel.
Yes.
But also... hard to be scared of you, not in a bad way, but you don't take a lot of shit seriously in life. So well, there's there was always that kind of like I always felt like if sometimes you were getting angry at me, I always felt like I just
the idea of him now yelling at you with this wet t-shirt shirt on, high off his ass,
trying to be serious.
Yeah. Give us one now. Like if they're messing with one of these cameras, you saw one of your grandkids messing with these cameras.
If he was messing with his camera,
yeah.
I'd be like, hey, that's his camera.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No. yeah, that's not my camera. No, I like I said, I never went angry. And if I yelled, you knew I was serious.
I got like a handful of times he's ever raised his voice at me.
But I wonder, like, was there things that as like your mom or dad did that you remember saying to yourself, I'm never gonna.
Oh yeah, I mean we used to get spanked and stuff, and so I'm not a big proponent of spanking in any way. Also my parenting has been different. Just my first son is on the spectrum, and so just general. Regular discipline wasn't an option. You had to really figure things out because he would never take the action. He couldn't separate the action from the person. And so if you were like, hey, that's bad, he took that as I'm bad. I'm a bad person.
Interesting.
So you had to really take the time to be like, hey, what you just did is not acceptable. You can't do that action. You're a good person, but you can't do that. So it had to be this real dancing thing. And now with my youngest, I almost try to take some of those grandparent lessons that I see from my mom and apply it to my youngest because, he's just 2 now. And so he'll get real terrible twos and real thing, and like he'll just throw his milk on the ground and be like, you pick it up, and I'm like, no, you gotta go pick up your milk, man. And and so then I'll just be like, hey, this is what we're doing right now. I go, you can stomp around, you can do whatever, but I'm gonna sit on this floor and we're not moving on until you pick up your milk.
I can't imagine, like in the 80s especially and before, raising a kid on the spectrum. You didn't have this language about what was happening with your child at that time. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, probably when I was growing up, they were just called weird or whatever you would label them. That is crazy because there weren't those tools or people to talk to or websites or anything like that. That's bananas. Dude, I never thought of that.
I mean, even when I was growing up as a kid, like I didn't really know about the autism spectrum as I know about it well now because I'm trying to educate myself, but I didn't really know about it like at least a little bit of education probably until I was late in high school.
Yeah,
and I would
everywhere.
Facts. And so I would
If you're a comedian and your numbers start going low, you say you got autism.
It's actually it has helped some people.
Yeah,
it's kind of wild.
Yeah, but so I would go through it, and then as I started to learn more about it, I would think back to like growing up and 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there, and I would think about it because you're right, they were just kind of labeled as like different or weird, and I thought about it a little more, and I thought back, there's probably
there are a couple kids that I know for
dude,
sure.
At least 10 kids I could probably go back and think of and be like, oh, for sure, like. But it's just not something that we were educated enough.
Now that I've spent so much time with my son and stuff, I have actually. We all know Rick Glassman, right?
Yep.
Like I was one of the first people. I was like, Ricky, I think you might be on the spectrum, and it was like back when we were on Undateable, and then years later, he was like, I went and got tested.
How old is your son on the spectrum?
He's 21 now.
He's 21. Okay.
Yeah.
How has that, by the way, raising a child on the spectrum, has that changed you, like how you look at things?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, has it made you more patient?
For sure. Extremely more patient.
Accepting, I assume.
More accepting, more driven, for sure. Just protective. Things also change. It's been really weird because for a long time, my main goal was just to like, for lack of a better term, just like wall him up, Rapunzel him, isolate him, keep him from being hurt. And then now it's like, well, he's like an adult and he has a job, and now we went to a strip club together.
That's amazing.
I love it.
He wants to be out and active, and now I'm just like, man, I have to like just really instill more independence and keep building his confidence up, so that instead of trying to keep him locked in, be like, all right, well, you go out as much as you can. So
right, well, because as a parent, I mean, not that I know, but from what I know from you, what I heard from that is like, as a parent, what you want to do always is you want to fight for your kid. You want to make sure that you're always there to try and make sure that you can help them fix something, or you can be there for them at any moment in their life. But as they get older, even for your boy who's on the spectrum, like eventually you have to kind of let them grow at their own
independence
pace.
is independence is where you're for me anyways, it's where the confidence comes from.
Yeah,
100%.
That's where the joy comes in. I mean, I love it now, that things that I never thought. I mean, up until he was in his early teens, I was still wiping his ass for him. And so I couldn't even, he was the reason why I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows, because I couldn't be away an extra day because he couldn't deal with that. And now to be able to leave town and have him like just stay at the home by himself and text me, and just with things us going to WrestleMania, us just like seeing him at these big events. These things where I'm like, man, I don't want to limit whatever, I think that's what any parent, you're just like, man, I don't know what my kid's capable of, and watching them succeed. And one of my favorite things is seeing how kind he is. He's a very like, thoughtful man. Like he opens doors for people. He introduces himself to people. He doesn't have, even with his disability, if you want to call it that, he doesn't have any type of like lack of confidence. He comes in, shakes your hand, introduces himself, and like goes about his day. And it was one of the coolest things. I mean, one of our biggest battles right now is health, because he's always just been limited on his diet, and unfortunately most of that has been like burgers and fried chicken. And so getting him into like rotisserie chicken and drinking protein shakes and explaining to him the value and the importance of being healthy to a guy who truly is free and does not care. That's crazy. Like I told him, I was like, look, man, like you gotta be healthy. We'll do it together. We'll lose some weight together. We'll be healthy boys. We'll be looking good. And I'm giving him this big speech, pumping him up. And he just looks me in the eyes. And he goes, I don't give a fuck.
By the way, that sounds like me when he talks to me about health.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do also.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he says.
Yeah.
He'll do some look, I'm a little obsessive with my health stuff.
Use a better word than little.
What
Overly obsessive.
Okay. I feel like, look, I have a bit of an addictive personality. I'm glad that personality has latched onto this
And not whatever.
Drinking or Coke or anything like that. But he says the same thing. You know what? It's like, I mean, do you see this? Because 21 is right around that where you have wisdom. They just don't want it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's the same for me. Like if I had listened to the things that people said that were giving me real advice, then I would have probably done better. But you don't want to hear it. You want to take your own path. And I'm glad I took my own path. There's things that, and I wouldn't have been a comedian if I listened to some of those same people. You know.
How old were you when you first got on stage?
I was 23, and so I mean, and also the thing is that at that point my son was also already 2 and already diagnosed. So to start at that time, some people had some very strong opinions about.
Yo, what's been the difference? Because if diagnosed at 2 and you have a 2-year-old now, what's been what's the difference?
I didn't know kids were supposed to talk that much.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. Man, I used to be able to get high around this. This kid's gonna snitch if I'm high. I know.
Chatty, a little more chatty.
Oh, much more social. And I was happy because obviously when it happened, I was like, oh, this might, if he does end up on the spectrum, cool. I already know how to deal with that somewhat. But if he doesn't, wow, it's going to be a unique situation for me to experience it, being more off financially. I thought I was going to be married and have a full thing going on. And so I was like, this is going to be, really cool. And then immediately I was like, man, this guy's real social and chatty.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had forgotten is that even, Malcolm's spectrum stuff kept him from being more social and made him more comfortable with adults and not really around kids. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have like 20 kids over here for a sleepover because he's going to be popular. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I used to always make sure those happened. Who was out of town when those happened? I was always like, Beth, Jacob's got like 8 kids coming over. She'd be like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Des Moines this week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I gotta find a new sucker for that.
Well, I think you have the best out. You're like, no, I'm out of town. I can't. We gotta do it at your other friend's house.
Yeah, man. You know what? I remember my daughter, it took her a little while to start talking. But then when she started talking, I was like, hey, when's she going to shut the fuck up? Like, she never stopped talking.
Yeah, it's just the words he says. I mean, he seems pretty advanced. I think every parent says that, but also I'm coming from a thing where my other kid.
Yeah.
So to see my 2-year-old pick up a strawberry and go like, "Oh, marvelous," is like, I'm like, what?
Marvelous?
2-year-old?
Yes.
2-year-old or 80-year-old? That is
Crazy.
amazing.
Marvelous is an amazing word to use. Is that coming from, that's your...
He gets a
Marvelous.
lot of reading. We read a lot with him, and then I think Peppa Pig might say marvelous a bit.
Yeah. Shout out Peppa Pig.
Yeah. You were a Blues Clues guy.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time
Straight
Blues Clues.
Blues Clues.
Yep.
You and your brother and sister would just sit there. I mean, Blues Clues for hours.
Can never
But I
get enough.
remember, man, wanting to do... And so when your son was 2 and diagnosed, were you single?
Mm-mm.
You were with your...
Yeah, I was with my first.
So when he was 2, I was single with my other 2 kids. And I remember having a similar conversation with my dad about responsibility. And I was newly single with them. And having that same question, people would question, he was like, oh, are you following your dreams or are you being selfish? Look where everybody lives. You're not making any money. Like and he said, you do what you want. We're going to support you. But when does your dream become selfish? And when are you putting yourself in front of their needs?
Yeah.
Did you have those kind of conversations?
Oh yeah, all the time. Mostly with my first ex's parents. Yeah, a lot of their conversations were like, someone needs to set him down and tell him how the real world works, and you don't just do something because you want to do it. You got to take care of your kids and stuff. And I'm just happy I didn't listen. And it wasn't. And it is weird because you don't know if you're the one who is delusional, and you don't know if you're the one that's. I think if you are a good parent, yeah, you do go like, am I making a mistake here? Am I putting myself before my kids? But I would just go to these shows and have cassettes and get respect from people and see the things. And the money wasn't coming, but the respect was coming. And I was like, oh, and it was coming from people who I'd looked up to, and people who I'd seen on TV, and people who before I started comedy that I just loved already. And so I was like, oh, I'm not just eating shit. I'm not bad at this. I have a natural ability of it. And I see that now from trying new things. Like when I went to pro wrestling school for a few months, I was like, oh, I don't have a natural ability at this.
Yeah. That's, for me, the decision ended up being, and I did think it wasn't a question at that point for me of if I thought I was good enough. I knew I was good enough. It was a question of how many more years of this, right? How many more years of living like this can I put them through? But one of the decisions that I came to was I actually think it's okay for them to see me struggle. I think it's okay to be in struggle, and to show that we can come out of struggle. And struggle doesn't mean we don't love each other, and struggle doesn't mean we don't have fun.
No, my favorite sitcom when I was growing up was Roseanne, So, and that was a lot of that, and that's because I related to it.
Me too.
It was a family that loved each other, and that episode. To this day, probably my favorite episode is when they just get up and the electricity's out, and the whole episode is about how they're gonna pay this electricity bill and get the lights back on. Because I was like, oh, I never seen a sitcom handle that, and I've been through that multiple times. And so it's just, I don't believe in romanticizing struggle. I think sometimes when you are in struggle, it becomes this thing that can turn into apathy of when other people, you don't see people around you succeeding or other people around you making plans. You assume that success and change is impossible. And I like seeing, one of the things I love about living here is that, like, seeing someone and then 2 years later, they're doing something completely different.
I agree.
They're on a whole nother level of existence. And to see that lets you know it's possible. And that's something that I always prefer, as opposed to like just being like, oh, I can't, just living in a struggle. So I'm glad and to this day, my oldest son, like when he's, he'll ask about going on vacation and stuff, and he'll just be like, let's go to Oregon, Motel 6. And I'm like, no, man.
No, we don't.
Never again.
We're not doing Motel 6.
Never again. And we're never doing that again. But I like that he knows that, because it really keeps him, he's so grounded. He just likes the things he likes. He wants his video games. He wants his toys and stuff. But like, he's not entitled. He's not a Hollywood kid by any means. And it's one of my bigger concerns with my youngest kid is to see how he deals with coming from a time where like, oh, I go from, the pool at daddy's house to the pool at mommy's house.
Because he never was in the struggle.
No. Hopefully not. I mean, I'm not looking for it.
By the way, can I tell you, you bring up Roseanne. Maybe my favorite Roseanne moment ever was in the pilot. This is why this was great TV and because they did solve things in real life ways. In the pilot, Dan and Roseanne get in an argument and they're going at each other pretty hard. And then one of the kids, Becky, gets hurt and gets a pretty bad cut. The argument goes away. They jump into parenting mode and they fix her up. They comfort her. They make sure she's good. And she dries her tears and she ends up leaving the kitchen, and they look at each other and they don't do some huge speech about, I love you, I love you. Dan just puts his hand on her arm and they just kind of acknowledge that what was happening before wasn't important. I'm sorry we were arguing. We're a team. It was such a poignant, no speaking moment of the way real people handle things. Not everybody's eloquent enough to come up with a soliloquy about why I was wrong, but I'm going to touch your arm and let you know I'm sorry. It was like such a beautiful, small moment that show was filled with, man. I don't know if you ever watched a lot of that.
No, not really.
You watched like Fresh Prince and...
Yeah. Fresh Prince, I think, was the one that I watched the most, probably. It's just
of the old shows?
Yeah, like sitcom-wise, like for sure Fresh Prince. It was just like, not that I related to it at all, because there was nothing for me to relate to.
I don't
Truthfully.
think anyone could relate to it. I don't think that was one of their tenets. There wasn't a lot of people like, oh yeah, I remember when I used to live in the inner city of Philadelphia. And now I live with my rich uncle who's a judge and my cousin who's a singing star. And I'm also going to bring my DJ friend. I couldn't relate.
Not the most relatable premise. Yeah.
My points. Exactly. But it was definitely the one I enjoyed the most and watched the most, for sure.
Whew, yeah. Yeah, that's super funny. Man, when you moved to Oregon, how many other black kids in your school?
In my middle school, I think 2, and then in my high school, 5 or 6, probably. Yeah.
And you said like it was overt, like the way people spoke to you, and it was.
I mean, someone painted the N-word on my house at one point on my gate.
Jesus.
Dude,
Straight
how
hands.
do you feel safe going into school the next day? Going like, how does that?
I don't know why it didn't faze me. I mean, also there's a history of racism, you know.
Yeah.
So you can become, when you grow up and your grandparents tell you about things, you're like, it's a sliding scale from someone just, you know, kids probably spray painting on your gate. Not that I'm trying to dismiss it in any manner. Wasn't a comfortable situation, but it's not like was a new.
Do you find so? I almost, when I was in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach, I was in a meet and greet, and I had these dudes come up to me, and they were laughing and looking at each other coming up, and I was like, oh, they've got something planned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can kind of pick them out.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys are going to try to be funny or.
That's one thing now that I'm like, I've been doing it so long, and I'm sorry for interrupting your story, but
That's right.
if I'm going to, it should be right at the beginning, huh? Is that now I'm so attuned to different laughter that I will I can call it out all the time when I'll be thinking if I'm doing a show and some of the crowd doesn't know me, and you'll hear that like side laugh, and I'll stop and I go, look, I've been doing this for long enough. They're laughing at me. You're talking shit. You know, and I'll just get at them for it. And I just hate now that but it affects me in my regular day life because I've been on sets, I've been on things, and I'm like, oh, they're talking shit.
It's crazy that you say that. Somebody asked me the other day, what's a skill you developed from doing stand-up that you didn't know you develop? And I said, I think I can read people really well. I can stand on stage and be like, well, that guy's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. She's going to, and you can really start to read, this is going to be an issue. So that's why sometimes he'll ask me, how come you kicked him out right away? I was like, well, he was going to be a problem. But I'll play with this person because they really want to be here. They just don't know how to do it in public.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy thing to be able to, because we're in front of so many people all of the time. I do like it though. There have been times where I've been in some place and I've seen somebody not doing stand up like a restaurant or a bar or anywhere. I'll be like, I'm not going to stay here. This is this person right here. This is some energy that is something I don't want to be around.
I'm literally on the plane right here.
Yeah.
Plane right here. You were sitting next to some woman, right?
Yeah, I got it moved almost right away.
Yeah, right as the plane took off.
Right when she sat down, I was like, oh, she's going to talk to me the whole entire flight. And I said, this is not. I had headphones in, so she would say things loud enough.
Oh, wow.
To try to get
that
me
lets you know.
Yeah.
If you're
I was like,
that's just a written contract of society.
Headphones?
If I have headphones in, you don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Headphones and a hoodie?
Yeah, I'm basically inside. I'm in private.
Dude, I'm in the cones of silence right now.
Yeah.
There's no.
You know what happened recently on a plane when we were on tour? So here's the thing. We take like red eye flights and we go to Dallas. And so we leave at like midnight. We get there at like 5 a.m. So I am always asleep on all these planes. Dude, there was one plane where when I was asleep, I have my neck pillow up against the window, hood over my face, not this way, so my face.
You do reverse hoodie.
I reverse hoodie. I cover it up
yeah.
because I'm like, yo, I don't want anybody talking to me. And then headphones over the reverse hoodie, so you can clearly see. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, the mommy.
Yeah.
Facts. I got tapped on the shoulder. The flight attendant reached over 2 people and was like shaking me, and I was like, "Hello?" And she goes, "You want anything to drink?" And I go, "Does it look like I want anything to drink? Are you out of your mind?" I was like, if you come back up here and wake me up again, you have to call the air marshal. I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Like, don't
that reverse hoodie where you breathe your own breath. That's something I can't do. Where you're like,
well, that's why towards the window I have a little peak open.
Oh, it's just a little bit.
So there's a little ventilation. Plus, that's where the air. I point the air so it bounces off the wall and comes inside.
Did you ever think having an adult child would be this much fun?
No, that's again going to the strip club was the first time I realized that. I had been mourning it. It was one of the reasons that I wanted to have my new son was that like my son was getting older. I was like, I'm only 40. Like I don't feel I've been a dad most of my life, and so I'm like I don't feel like I'm done.
Yeah.
And last time was so stressful, so I was like, let's try it again. And so, but then now that watching my son get older and watching him. The way he treats my mom, the way that he, just even things like 'cause it was his birthday, and I was like, we'll go anywhere you want for your birthday. I go, I don't like traveling when I'm not working, but it's your birthday. And if you want to go anywhere, I'll take you anywhere you want to go. And he was like, I want to go Omaha. And I'm like, no.
Anywhere else besides why Omaha?
I don't know.
That's a weird.
Like he'll sometimes just pick places because there's a video game store that he wants to go to, and I have to like talk him out of it. But then the other one was New Orleans, and I was like, oh, 21st birthday, New Orleans. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's
Bourbon
do this.
Street, baby.
Yeah, got a nice hotel right on Bourbon Street with a balcony. Come there, and I was like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to eat beignets. And I was like, cool.
Cafe du Monde.
Yeah, took him there. He want to go to a jazz festival. And then he was just kind of like, when you can read your son, and he's kind of like, I don't know. And I was like, do you want to go to a strip club? And he was like, yeah, yes, I do.
I love that. Very adamant. He's like, I've been waiting for you to ask me. He was like, I would have gone, but I didn't want to pay for it. That's why I've been waiting for you to ask me.
What? So when he walked in, because he's never been to a strip club, but he also doesn't want to go to a strip club.
This is my thing with it. Is like, no shame or bagging on. I'm like, girls, you get your money. Guys, however you get your bag. Life is expensive, but the thing is like I understand the game that is played.
Yeah,
you just never gonna catch me playing the game.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That's it.
I'm with you. I've been to. Besides with my son, I've probably been to 3 strip clubs max in my life. I don't.
What was it like?
I'm a chatty person.
Yeah.
So like I'm a ruiner. Yeah. If you guys sitting there thinking that you're gonna bag that stripper, and I sitting there and I noticed when we went with my son, I noticed strippers like being all tough, being like just trying to come in gangster, and I noticed she's got a like Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls tattoo on her leg, and I was like, oh, you're a nerd.
Yeah,
you're a fucking nerd. And so she's talking about drugs, talking that, and I was like, I go, what's your favorite anime? And then she just
did she have one?
Oh yeah.
Dude, if you have
she's never been asked that in the strip club ever.
If you have a Powerpuff Girls tattoo, you're a nerd.
Yeah,
100%. You're not a random person. You just get a Powerpuff Girls tattoo, especially a Buttercup.
Yeah.
Nah, Buttercup.
What was his experience in the strip club? Like,
I'm so curious.
Oh, I mean, I took him on Thursday at 8 p.m. because I didn't want it to be spectacular.
You didn't want a Tuesday night, but you didn't want a Saturday night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of like strippers on their phone and hanging out, and one person dancing to no one, and we just sat in a corner. And he just kind of, but he was having a blast as he's just looking around,
a lot of stimulation. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah,
a lot of lights
there.
And he had the best. He's so astute, and I was like, "You like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like Grand Theft Auto."
Yeah.
And I was like,
why did I have a feeling he was going to relate it to that? That is amazing.
Look.
Okay, so sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I have a question. So for me, like growing up, he would always make like niche references, but I grew up like watching like early Family Guy and American Dad, and so I'd always be like, oh yeah, and like I'd add to it. And he goes, how the hell do you know about that?
Yeah,
Family Guy or something.
Yeah.
Since he's a big video game guy, does he make like comparisons and references to like everyday life to something that happens in video games? Like,
Something
is that
that happened
his
in a
thing?
video game, something happened in a cartoon that I don't know about, like Danny Phantom or Kim Possible.
Go, yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Danny
off.
Phantom.
Danny Phantom. That's all I gotta say is
Do you
I have a
watch
Danny
any
Phantom T-shirt.
adult cartoons with him, like Archer or anything like that?
No, we don't really watch a lot of cartoons together.
We do.
We mostly play video games together, or we'll go video game shopping together.
Love
we'll go
that.
to movies together. We do a lot of that. We do more activities. There was a time we used to play games all the time together, and I mean that's actually one of my favorite memories. Is that like we'd play Halo 2 all the time, and I'd carry him through things, and just kind of clear the level and let him kind of trail. And then I remember one day where I was not paying it that much attention, and I look up and he had murdered everybody, and I was like, oh, he doesn't need me anymore.
Yeah, I
That's
love that.
awesome.
Yeah, and so that's the occasional game that he'll catch me playing, and he'll be like, I'm a fan of that, and we'll play together. For the most part, we like different. He likes racing games. I don't like racing games.
Yeah, me either.
Like,
With the wheel racing games?
I mean, we don't have a will, but yeah, they could be.
Does
That's
he know
about-
you smoke weed?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And is he curious about weed?
No, he's mostly been more curious about alcohol, but we kind of talked about it, and he just kind of doesn't want to currently do anything. So
How come you? Because I guess you found out that I smoked weed around 16,
Something like that.
but you never were much of a drinker either. Now that I think about it,
I tried it. There was one time probably when I was 15 where I was at a buddy's house and he was like, oh, my dad's out. There's some Bud Light in the fridge and we tried to play some beer pong. I took a sip of a Bud Light. And by the way, I'll still take a sip of a Bud Light to this day and be like, God, this sucks. Like, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Never liked it in the first place. I told you I stole a bottle of Belvedere from you once, right?
not until right now.
Great. Let's talk about that. So it was, well, you'll remember the exact night.
Because we used to get bottles because Chelsea used to get cases of Belvedere, and she'd be like,
You'll remember this exact night. I was going into my sophomore year. Do you remember when I was at that girl's house with a couple friends, and it was the night before I was supposed to go to football practice for the first day?
yes.
And you came in and dragged me out of that house. Dude, it was the biggest cock block of my entire life that fucking night. Jesus.
You're welcome.
No. I mean, I guess, yeah. But like, before I had left again, because I'd come back.
That's right, because you wanted to stay, and I was like, no, you committed to football. You got to come home and be ready for practice tomorrow.
Right, but you had already said yes prior to it, which is why I'd come home and packed a bag and then gone back.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, he was like, I changed my mind. And I was like, fuck that. In the 20 minutes that I was home, that you were in your bedroom, I swapped out a bottle of Belvedere from the bar cart with another one in the garage because you had spares.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to take one from the garage because you would notice it. I just took one from the cart and put one back on the...
Smart.
Okay, ready for this? Best part, this is how I know I'm not a drinker. You came and picked me up. I didn't leave them that bottle. I kept the bottle because I was like, yeah, I'll just keep it for another time. It was in my sock drawer until I left Notre Dame for a year and a half. I never touched that bottle. I just never did. It stayed in that sock drawer. I never went to it. I never, even when we went to parties, I've always just been a weed smoker. Also because it was so much easier to get. Like, it was just
In
easy.
LA,
in LA
you're at that time,
at my
for
age,
sure.
it was so easy to get.
You know what he told me, by the way, is that there was a dude that there was a number you could call in high school.
Oh, the taxi dude? Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but it was this like random, super shady phone number. They didn't care how old you were. There was just a number that you got. It was word of mouth. It was something taxi. I can't remember. And you would call them. They would send you a menu. You would text them what you wanted, and they would just come drop it off. No questions asked. Mainly Four Locos, which
Four
are
Locos.
banned in most states now.
But crazy that there was just a dude driving around and doing that for high school students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told me, he was like, well, there's this guy who drops it off. I'm like, what guy? And he was like, I don't know his name. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Who's
it was a
this-
different guy every time.
Did you, in
It's
high
a
school,
business.
were you a drinker, smoker, either one?
No, I mean I tried drinking a little bit, but I never could. I'm never been that good at it. It's just not my thing. And then Smoking, it was just something I was always more. I mean, that's how much of a nerd I was into. I would like look up statistics on deaths and stuff like that, and I'd be like, "Oh, all right, well, weed seems fine." Yeah,
And also, playing video games high is way better than playing video games drunk.
yeah, I would think so.
100%.
I never just liked. I mean, I drank plenty, but man, even to this day, it's the next day. It's not even the night of the drinking.
You feel great when you're drinking.
It's the next day. The next day on weed is just like right now.
Yeah, because you're just high on weed.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's correct. Yes, exactly.
I'm thinking about doing one of these pods with mushrooms, but I don't know how the interview would go.
I guess it really all depends on who the guest is.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I feel like you could have done it in this one right here,
true.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Are you?
But it really all depends on who the guest is.
What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes
I just said
Sierra.
this to my
Where?
wife.
at Crypto.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun,
They're
actually.
playing in Vegas, dude. I just said we were driving. We live in Vegas now. I was just driving down into the strip, and I looked up. I go, "That's gonna be a great concert."
That sounds like so much fun.
It's also Missy's first national tour of her career.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and out of respect, I was like, I must
Yeah.
attend.
How many? How many? She's somebody who could do 2 hours of hits.
Yeah,
Straight hits.
yeah.
That's
That's again. I mean, when I get frustrated, that's the things I think about. I was like, wow, how talented, how much of a game changer, how much of a pioneer, and amazing Missy is. But she never felt in the industry zone where she had a national tour before now.
That's
so
crazy. That is a
That's
crazy
wild.
stat.
Yeah.
That is bananas because I bet you
Because
as far as
Busta
hits-
can't play. Can Busta play 2 hours worth of just hits? No. Right?
I think he can. I think you guys are
2 hours
underestimating
of
because you're
hits?
not thinking about his time with the leaders of the new school. You're not thinking about his scenario. Like he could do just playing scenario, a medley of scenario
true.
for a minute. Yeah.
Do you know when I saw Biz? I saw him in Charlotte. I was playing the Comedy Zone down there. You know, it's
What
in
year
that.
did you play? What year did you see Biz?
This was years ago. This was pre-COVID. But you know, they have it's like a little music venue down, and so I went and saw him, and he played Just a Friend 3 times.
Yeah.
He opened with it, he closed with it, and in the middle he did a remix. I'm like,
Yeah.
this dude knows
Yeah.
why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here to hear a couple of hits.
Yeah. Nobody beats the Biz.
Did-
yeah.
That's it. But he
Yeah.
was like, I know why you're here. I know why. What's the first concert do you remember as a kid going to?
I told you already. Do you remember?
He did already say it on this podcast.
Yeah. In this very conversation. I
The
told you.
first concert you went
Literally, probably 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Sitting
told you.
right here.
Use your
And this
host-
is what
use-
happens when you do too many drugs.
Use your hosting skills.
to? Hold on.
He
What-
said, use your hosting skills.
What part of?
Get
Hold on,
fucked.
hold on. Hold on. What part? Where were we? Where were we?
Talking about his first concert.
Yeah, you're talking about
The
me
south
growing
side,
up.
not the south central of Chicago, but on
Yeah.
the south side of Chicago. God, this man is like making me look bad on this podcast.
Yeah. There goes that memory.
By the way, he said, "Oh, like he remembered." He still doesn't know.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember. But here's my favorite thing about him. One, he knows me inside and out.
Yeah.
Doesn't let me get away
No.
with anything. But it is sincerely like
You want to know why I don't like you?
it's like it's traveling with just my buddy. That's what I was asking you about adult. Like, is he your buddy now?
Yeah, no, he's my. It's like, actually, you know, again with dealing with the divorce and stuff. I think one of my errors originally was just like feeling that I needed someone to help me with my son.
Yeah.
It's something that I was thinking I was searching for, and because I was like, oh, everything is so difficult on my own, and my son needs help, and this and that. And as I've watched him get older and more independent, I'm like, he's actually like the best partner, the best roommate. Like, you know, when people he was there from the very beginning. He paid, you know, him and his disability and getting SSI. He paid the rent when I was younger, couldn't afford to. So like I owe him everything, you know. And so now to see, he's just he's like my buddy. We hang out, we enjoy each other's company. It's a little, you know, we don't socialize as much as you two because of just communication things, but like we can, you know. Like we can have conversations and I know everything he's talking about with like one or two words. And that's, I think, is like one of the most beautiful relationships I've ever, it is the most beautiful relationship I've been in. It's just.
That's super cool, dude.
Yeah.
Does he feel comfortable telling you, saying whatever? Like to me, like, and this is one of the most rewarding things for me with all my kids is that the effort and the time and the unconditional love that you put in, it's so rewarding as they get older.
It is.
It's like one of the most rewarding.
Like, and you get it all mostly because you didn't leave. And you could leave at any point and then they hate you. And that's so many people's lives is that their parents left or dad left and then they're like, oh, and it's just like, I mean, and some of if they stayed it probably would have been worse, but like just being there and being wanting to help and wanting to protect can provide so much, and I love it, and it provides so much to me as a man, like especially, you know, and like besides my sons, I would probably say stand up is the thing I love the most. And it's like broken my heart way more than my sons ever have. And I think if my only focus was my career and what I was getting out of comedy, it would have got boring fast. I would have not, like, I need my sons to give me a reason to go out and do shows, go out and be inspired, you know.
You get tricked here in this town about what's important. And it was a constant reminder to me, especially when I was single. I couldn't worry about the audition. Coming back from the audition, I couldn't worry about if I got it. I couldn't obsess over it. I couldn't worry about why not me, any of that stuff, because I had other more important things to worry about. I feel so lucky early on that they showed me what truly was important. It was such a fascinating lesson to get as a young dude. And I would watch other people hang out at the store until 2 a.m. and I just could never do that. I did my set and I had to go straight home.
It's mercenary style.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a job to do, headed back to the base.
That's right. And I remember, I think it might have been Adam Ray or somebody, because there was a whole group of like stand-ups that I just hadn't met because I was doing Chelsea, and my deal with Bev, my wife, was, hey, if I'm writing on a show, I'm not going to do stand-up. So I'm not going to be gone during the day and at night, right? Or if I did do a set, no hangout. And Adam was like, you know, I had heard you were aloof because you didn't talk to people. I was like, oh no, it's not that I didn't talk to people, dude. I just had to go. I just couldn't sit around.
Got a family.
And you know, and I couldn't sit around and worry about why.
But you also had that family responsibility way earlier than a lot of people did.
Yeah,
like coming up, like in that early era of the store, like with you, Joe Diaz, Ralphie May, like that little circle of you guys and Brody and many more. Like none of those dudes had kids.
Nobody I knew had kids,
let alone 3 of them under the age of 7.
Yeah.
Like you had legit real life shit to deal with. So even if you wanted to sit and chat and hang out with people, you knew where your priorities were. So you had to do what you needed to do. Secret mission, exactly. Get in and get the job done and get the fuck out. Because you had legit life shit at home.
I remember when I started talking about my kids on stage, and Jamie Masada said to me, we did the showcase. You know, we used to wait out on Tuesday to get on stage. And he goes, buddy, you're a young guy. Nobody wants to hear about kids. Talk about girls, going out, getting drunk, but stop talking about your kids. I'm like, that's just the worst advice I've ever heard in my entire life. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah. Known great writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on that advice, it sounds like he had a great career.
Well, Jamie owns a Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
He owns a Laugh Factory.
Yeah. But that's
not.
I
That
don't
was the
go
worst
tell
advice.
people how to make a
never-
great burger, you know. I stick to my zone.
Yeah, this is the only thing I know how to do. This is like my therapy up here.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, that's just how it's like I can only give you what I have. And I only talk about what's important to me. So I've always felt the same. And it is what's nicer now as I find that, like, obviously, like, me talking about my kids is less unique as people will look at my grades and I'm like, oh, of course you got kids. You should have kids.
Yeah.
But back then it was, I mean, I think that's one of the things that we related on and had a kinship on very early was that I think because there's no path to this that I think is easy, but I have a certain amount of respect for people who had kids before they had like fame or before they had money in this business, because I know, and I can hear it in his voice, I know the level of dedication to maintain both of those things and be active in both of those things. So if there's anything that I can return what you said earlier, that's always something that I respect.
I appreciate that.
And continue the fact that you know, I think the mark of a good man and father is that their kids still want to spend time with them. You know,
This is what I was gonna go ahead.
I will say also, because that you said about if you were writing, you weren't doing comedy, right? And I remember I think it's probably my sophomore year, or maybe my junior year, something like that. You came home the one day from writing, and you were like, maybe not exact words, but for me, I heard you say, I fucking hate this. Like
I could have.
I don't. I think you did. Truthfully, you were like, I miss.
I don't know how you couldn't.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think I did. I think I did say that. I think I did.
And he said, you said, I miss doing stand up.
Yeah.
And I said, then go back on the fucking road.
Yeah.
And you asked me, you went, are you okay with that? Like, I don't want to miss out on some shit. I was like, dude, go chase your fucking dream. Like, go do what you want to do. Like,
Man.
you've done your time. You did what you need to do. Mom's holding down the fort. Like this is the thing. When my mom
remember that, dude.
My mom came into my life and to all of our lives. He didn't know, but didn't have curtains in our apartment.
Mm.
My mom was like, hey, we're gonna get you some curtains.
Yeah.
Like
She's like, we're gonna let you get this baby get some shade.
Yeah.
He not gonna wake up just cause the sun is up. Don't mean he need to wake up.
That's right.
Yeah. And so when he told me that, he was like, you sure you're okay with me going? I'm like, dude, you're chasing a dream. Mom's gonna hold the fort down. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah. That's
And the biggest thing about it is, you were gone a lot. We talked about it. Like, football game. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you missed the football games. We went fucking 2-9, so I'm pretty glad you missed all that. Track meets, sure.
But dude, it's still something. Right. And listen, I know that you've said not to worry about it, but it's still something that fucks me up. That I missed your prom. That I missed so many activities that are once in a lifetime things. And you've been really gracious, dude, and I've apologized to you, and you've told me multiple times not to worry about it. But, like, there are just certain singular events that I still struggle with missing because I'm so thankful not to be in this spot in my life right now, but I felt like I was constantly chasing. Mm-hmm. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
Here?
No, it's a balance now. I understand it all. I mean, I wrote on a couple of things very sporadically, just like I'd say just a couple of weeks on the Eric Andre show years and years ago, and then only like probably full level writing job I worked on the Kroll show for a while, and I learned very quickly that like there's skill sets that are just because they are in comedy, they don't necessarily translate for me. I think one of the things you talk about is that like I have this singular voice, and so when I have to take what my voice is and change my rhythm and change my thing just to match the person who I'm supposed to write for, it's difficult for me. And it's difficult for me to go back when I need to go back to writing for me. And so I learned pretty quickly, I'm like, oh, I don't want a writing job. Like, that's just not who I am as a person. But
sure
it's hard to not have that, like,
Yes.
safety of the money. And right now, one of my biggest things is that, like, my youngest son is 2, and I have the very same fears of, like, I'm like, I missed a lot with my oldest. I missed a lot with my family. I missed my sister's medical school graduation. I missed a lot of stuff like that. And I'm, like, determined not to do that with my youngest son. So I've kind of, like, given myself this goal, and it probably, I mean, I don't want to say it won't work, but, like, I don't know if it's the healthiest goal, where I'm like, I gotta, like, basically 3 years until my son's 5 and needs to go to school, to where I can push and hopefully get myself to, like, a theater level comedian. And one thing, if not, like, I'm really just trying to host a game show or, like, be home. Like, I don't want to find a job that I hate, but, like, I know, not even just for my son, I know just getting older, like, I'm crankier when I go on the road. I've been to the same venues many times, so there's nothing I want to eat when I go there. I'm happy to check in with people, but I know me. I don't like being bored. I don't like doing the same thing over and over. So I, like, try to tell myself to enjoy where I am, because I'm hopeful. Like, I wouldn't hate a world where I just hosted a game show and I just did the Comedy Store, and that was all I did. And that would be fine for me.
I would definitely watch you hosting a game show.
It keeps you at home. It keeps you creative at the store, and then the game show makes you money. For guys like you to write jokes for other people, because I'm sure I know for a fact, because I've seen a bunch of your stand-up, you write jokes or that you say things in a funny way that other people, if you gave them the same exact language, it's not funny.
Yeah.
So that must make it extraordinarily hard for you to write for other people, because you've already got in your cadence. This is how I write jokes. This is how I do all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it also must make it impossible for someone to lift any of your jokes.
Yeah, it shows if people lift, and it also, I mean, I've had people, one of the greatest compliments I got was on Lights Out. I was talking with David after I did a couple times, and he said the same thing. He was like, nobody writes like you. Yeah. He's like, I give you a topic and you always find a positive. He's like, he's got to the point, he goes, I tell my writers to give me one Ron Funches type joke that goes the other way with it. And I was like, oh, I love
a huge compliment.
Yeah, that's a beautiful compliment.
Because I would say the same thing with Spade. I think Spade and Nate Bargatze are as close, the way they deliver jokes, they're as close to, like, Bob Newhart as we have. You know how they kind of throw jokes away? It's such a difficult style of comedy, but to get a compliment like that from a dude like that, who is in himself very unique, super cool, man.
Yeah.
Does your oldest son, has he been to your shows?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's been to some shows for sure. Yeah. He likes going on the road with me, but mostly just to go to 7-Elevens after the show. He likes getting a Slurpee.
He's a Slurpee guy?
Oh, he loves a Slurpee. He loves some type of corn snack treat, and then a gummy as well. So he'll typically go to if he goes in for a weekend, so summertime, I'll let him travel with me. He'll go to the Thursday show, have fun, eat at the club, and then the rest of the weekend, he stays in the hotel. And just when we get back, he's like, let's go get snacks. Let's go to the movies.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Do you tell jokes about him?
Oh, yeah.
And has he heard them?
He's heard a few of them, yeah.
And what does he think? Does he have notes? Does he ever
really said anything about them? I mean, a lot of time I am not sure if he notices my work, but I mean, those are some of my more fun moments with me, is that, like, sometimes, he's older, but I forget, and I'll forget to knock before I open the door. And sometimes he never yells at me about it, but sometimes I can tell he's not the happiest. Come on, man.
My wife walked in on him at a difficult time once.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, let me tell my side of the story on that one.
Okay. No, let him finish.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I forgot what we were talking.
You were
about.
you knock on the door and you walk in his room.
Oh, and he's watching like episodes of stuff I've been in. And I hope he's watching like a episode of The Great North that I was in, or I hope watch like some old show, like a older show that I've been in. And then when we went and saw Inside Out 2 together, and he like was reciting the lines back to me, and I was just
so
like, yeah,
cool, dude.
And it's cool. That one was just cool because that's always been a dream to be in a Pixar movie.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you a voice in Inside Out too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
I thought you were going to do some research on our
Yeah,
guests.
I actually did.
What hosting goes on here?
I actually did. I went more like the start of it. I know like Portlandia was the first thing he was on. I knew you started comedy at 23. I went back a little further than I did more recent stuff.
He thought that Dan Levy that was coming on the show was the dude from Schitt's Creek.
He gets that a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, when you type in Dan Levy, that's who pops up.
That is who pops up, unfortunately. For
Actually,
Dan
also
Levy.
at first I also thought he was Dan Schneider, but then I realized that was.
I go, Dan Levy's coming on the show. He goes, the pedophile? I go, I don't think so.
And then he walked in, and I was like,
yeah, you didn't commit though. Yeah. You're like, I've been in this business too long.
I was like, he walked in, and I was like, Dan Schneider, you're not Dan Schneider. Hey, I got it. I figured I got there. I got there eventually.
I'm gonna say I don't think so,
but not a for sure no.
Listen, there's a couple things that we ask everybody. Mm-hmm. The thing number one, I'm super curious about this. What do you?
My first concert.
Yeah, what's your first concert? And do you know who Dan Levy, the pedophile, is? What's one thing you hope your kids get from you, and what's one thing you hope they don't?
I hope that my kids get my work ethic from me. I think that's one of the things that I pride myself on is my work ethic and just every way, and like being professional, being on time, being a courteous, being a positive to any environment that you bring yourself in. I think that extends beyond like actually working, but like in society, just like like you said, when I come in a room, I try to be a positive. I try to come in and be like, we're having fun. This is going to be a great day. We're enjoying it, whether it's at the on set, whether it's at the comedy club. I just try to bring that energy because I want work to feel like that. And so I hope that my kids get that from me. I think if there's anything I want them to not get from me, I think it just was I battle with like, self-esteem and depression issues for when I was younger and still now. I think I have sometimes difficulty realizing the value that I bring and realizing how hard I work and the accomplishments that I have received. I think just coming from a scarcity environment, scarcity mindset, sometimes you keep that, and I don't want to instill that on my kids. I want my kids to, it's jokes I've had, but like I want them to breathe easy. I want them to be able to feel like they can make mistakes. I want them to feel that they're valuable no matter how much money they make. I want them to not feel that they need to be excellent to be, to show that they need to be around.
That is that last thing you said, that you're not just basically, you don't have to be excellent to have worth, is such a huge thing, especially here in this country with the phone where all you're seeing is people's best moments. You're constantly questioning your achievements, your self-worth, your life. And so it's interesting because you're raising kids in a generation where that is like that phone and other people's lives are in front of their faces all the time.
We're constantly influenced or shown like you said, people's best moments. So you're like, well, my life's not doing that right now. Like, am I doing something wrong? Should I be doing something different? But you always say for parenting, it's like every first time parent is you're figuring out everything on the fucking fly.
You're doing.
All those parenting books do enough, but every kid's different. Everybody's going to react different. Not every kid reacts to the same kind of discipline. Like
To me, the parenting book just made me feel bad about myself.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like same with social media.
Yeah.
It makes you look down on yourself and have those self-esteem issues of like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I doing what's best for my kid? Maybe I'm not, this and that. But
Yeah. So I find myself digging back into traditional accomplishments and goals is more like, 'cause I think the same thing with social media reminds you of comedy is that like, as a fan of comedy and consider myself a student of comedy, there's certain things that you like look at in the history of things, at least for me, and like it is comparison in a way, but I go like, okay, well this person did this and this and they got a special and this and that and they're doing this, they get a show and stuff, and then I look at my credits and I go, well, I did that.
yeah, absolutely.
I did this. Where is it? Where did it go? You know? And so I have to one of my favorite things now is that like I go to Pilates twice a week, I go to jiu-jitsu twice a week, and those things like you can't be you know, you can't get a black belt in jiu-jitsu because you have a better AJAT than someone else.
Yeah.
You can't like get it because somebody thinks that your name is popping at that time. It's like it's very traditional and very skill based, work ethic based, merit based, and those are all the things that I strive in. And so those are things like when I'm just waiting for my youngest to I take my oldest and he liked it but said he didn't want to do it again. But I'm very much excited to have my youngest do jiu-jitsu and get involved in stuff like that.
Yeah, we put him in martial arts real young.
Yeah, from 4 to 9, I was Taekwondo. I was a black belt in Taekwondo by the age of 9. And then after that,
Krav Maga.
Yep. Well, I mean, the only reason I left is because they closed down, or else I would have done Taekwondo. I think
with Billy Blanks.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks was the dude who owned the spot. And then I did Krav Maga, and I was a black belt in that from 10 to 13.
No, I don't know if you were a black belt.
And KMX.
Oh, yeah, and the young kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't you dare take my accomplishments.
No, I'm
from
not
me.
taking your accomplishment.
Watch yourself
no,
over
I'm
there.
not.
I know what I did. I know what I did.
You're like, I know who bought that belt.
Yeah, what was your first concert? No, I'm kidding.
I know. I know what my first concert was. It was you bought me tickets to ready for this? It was Kiss FM's Wango Tango.
That's fun.
In 2011.
Universal.
That is wrong.
Damn it. I said it with confidence.
With such confidence. No.
Pretty far off, actually.
Where was it?
It was in Carson City at like the Home Depot,
that's not close.
Home Depot Center or
No, it
arena
wasn't.
or whatever it was. But like, that was like one of those.
wasn't close.
No,
How old are you now?
Me?
Yeah.
55.
55. Wow. I'm excited for 10 more years. Let's see.
Listen,
Yeah.
you're old.
I'm having the time of my life. I've never been happier in my entire life, Ron, than right now. I only do things that I think are going to be fun. When somebody asks me, you want to do this? The first thing I think is, am I going to have fun doing that? And if the answer is no, or I even think about it, I'm like, I won't pass.
Okay.
And this is fun
Yeah.
all the time.
No, that's why I love it. I love seeing the clips of the two of you performing together. It makes me very happy.
Do you have any final question for him?
I would just say like, and this is kind of a vaguish question, but what would be your best parenting advice? Just like.
Ooh.
We can do. I guess we could try maybe switch it up because you're a first time parent for a kid who or your son who was
but
on
it's
the
a
spectrum.
I think it's a great question because he's
can-
now experiencing two different things
That's what I'm
so
saying.
many years apart from two completely life perspectives.
Right. Right.
I mean, I think that similar to what you said before, that there's no one way to do it. Like both my son's energy is completely different. Like, Malcolm was more like a firecracker where he would be like still for a while, then explode and pop off and have these tantrums and stuff like that. And we'd have to carry him around. And Teddy is more like a wave. Like he like constantly chill, but he's constantly moving. Like he never stops. He's always on the go, always into something. And I just try to embrace whatever my kids are. You know, like I don't want to push one way, but my other's and also I'm just always open. Like, my son's got a little pink kitty cat he likes to play with. whatever. Like he's got a stroller that he pushes around his baby's head, but he also like has Spider-Man dolls, and he likes to play with my pro wrestling figures and throw them around. And I just like whatever. Like I never am like, no, that's a boy toy or that's a girl toy. Whatever he's into, I just try to embrace and just. I think the biggest lesson is just. It's the most simple, dumbest, stereotypical thing, but like they're always like it goes so fast. And I remember sitting at my oldest's high school graduation, watching him put on his cap and gown, and I was just bawling my eyes out. And I think it was the closest thing to like a near death experience I ever had, because I could see all my choices. I could see like all these old memories of my son, the bad nights, the times where I didn't know how things were going to turn out, the fights that we had, just the stress. I could see all those replay in my head, and I'm watching him put his tassel and stuff on, and just feeling how worth it all was. And knowing that, like, I mean, already, my son's 2, and I see these pictures of him laying on my chest, and I miss it, and I'm just like, oh, all of this goes so fast. So I just kind of try to, it's another reason why I'm like, I don't want to, I'll push these next few years, but like, I don't want to miss it. Like, it's more to me now that I have a second opportunity, and I know there's not going to be a third because I have a vasectomy. So I want to make sure that I enjoy. If he has football, I want to go. I want to be there. I want to see that. I know, because I can understand. I can hear it in your voice. I know, like, as much as he forgives it and doesn't seem to care, I can hear how much you care, and because I understand that feeling. And so,
Beth asked me a couple times why there were milestones in his life, graduating elementary school, graduating, or the last day of baseball, or whatever it was. She said, why are you so emotional? And I said, because this is the last kid. This is the last time I'm going to experience this. It's also a milestone in our lives. Mm-hmm. This is the last youth baseball game. This is the last. And so those were really heavy moments for me when I knew, oh, this is the last time I'm going to experience this. Was heavy times, because it made me realize how much I loved it. Mm-hmm.
How much you love it, how much you enjoy it, and at the base level that you're going to die.
Yep. Thanks for bringing that up. By the way,
I think you wanted to rub it in that you're going to die before both him and I. So.
Yeah.
Did you guys just fist bump me dying first? That's fun.
We'll be at the funeral.
You guys fist bump me dying first? It's fucked up.
You rather be high-fiving instead?
Oh, no. Ron, tell everybody where they can find you, man.
You can find me. Instagram is Ron Funch. Most of my stuff is just at ronfunches.com. I'm on the road everywhere. I'll be in Portland. I'll be in Seattle. I'll be in St. Louis. I'll be in Indianapolis. I'll be in Dania Point, Florida. I'm going a lot of spots. Yeah. You can watch Loot on Apple TV. That's a show that I'm on with Maya Rudolph. That's
Great
pretty
show.
Good. I like it. You can watch Inside Out 2 in theaters. It's the biggest movie of the year, and I like that. That makes me feel good. Put me in more movies, and it happens for you.
I want to tell everybody.
By the way, great plug. Put me in more movies. That's right. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody who watches this, and I know everybody watches this, comedy fan, and I'm assuming you're a fan of mine. So I am I'm a good vibe person on stage as well, and I like fun and energy. If you like my stand-up, you're gonna like Ron.
Yeah,
he's so funny and different and unique. If you see him on a schedule, and I would say we are at a time right now where there are a lot of really good comics.
A lot of good comics, a lot of good options.
Yes, but I will tell you, if you like me, you're going to love Ron. If you see him on a schedule somewhere, trust me, buy the ticket.
Go see him.
Yeah, super funny.
Very worth it.
Dude, every time I sit down and do these shows with you, I feel so lucky and so grateful that we have this time together before I pass away, clearly.
By the way, you already said. You already
Go
said
back
that,
and
you already
rewatch
said that
them,
this
yeah.
morning. God damn it!
Yeah, I just like to remind
I know,
you,
I'm just
man,
kidding.
that I do love you and I love
Love you
spending
too.
time with you.
We're
And
having a
this
good
is
time.
the best time I've ever had in my
Yeah.
life. Ron, thank you.
Ron.
ComedianJoshWolf.com for tour dates. What do you want to say?
Yeah, what he said for tour dates and tickets. I don't know when this is airing, so come see us wherever we are during this summer. Josh Wolf Comedy on all platforms. It's Jake Wolf on TikTok, Jake_Wolf on Instagram, and Ron, thank you so much for coming on,
dude,
brother. We
thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
it. And as always, do something nice for someone today. Tell somebody you love them. We'll see you next time.
Later, everybody.
Bye.